Before we get started, I wanted to give a quick disclaimer. Please remember to be respectful at all times, as these are people's stories, life, and opinions that they are having, which are all okay to have. Also, some conversations might get a little too deep, which will make some of you guys uncomfortable. If that is the case, please remember that it is always okay to exit, and then I'll see you in the following episode. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Hello guys, welcome to episode 1 of Floating Thoughts. My name is Lally. I know if you know me, that's so weird to say because it's so weird for me to say sometimes. But if you also hear me refer to myself as Lally, it's because that's like my nickname. So I just wanted to quickly introduce myself because I know sometimes we follow each other, but we don't really like even know how to pronounce the name or things like that. So I just wanted to really briefly introduce myself. First and foremost, I also want to say thank you if you are even watching this podcast. It means a lot to me because I know I just did the introduction not so long ago. So it's very special for me, for you guys to be watching. Like I mentioned, it is a long awaited project of mine. I always wanted to start kind of a podcast, but it never kind of worked out. For whatever means. So this is awesome. Okay. So I just wanted to talk about a couple of things, and it kind of goes into kind of how I said with the introduction is kind of thoughts that have been going on in my head, but I thought it was fair because if you guys don't know, I have a fitness page. So most of this information for the first podcast is gonna make a lot of sense if you follow me on my fitness page. And if you don't follow me, I actually don't blame you right now because I have not posted in a long time. But that's the big elephant in the room, that's literally the first thing I want to talk about. Like, where the heck have I been? I'm gonna tell you, girl. I'm gonna tell you. It has been something. There's a lot of things that have happened, and I am really not the type of person, you can tell right now, probably I'm getting very uncomfortable talking about it because I don't think I allow a lot of people to come in my life, right? Like in the sense of like opening up to people. I think I am very much of a person that's like, I am okay, And I say that because I know there's a lot of people like that. So I kind of want to share that, and I kind of want to answer you guys' question of like, where have I been? And I know some people that are just like the first time following me, they're like, what is she even talking about? Because, it's your first time following me. So I'm like, girl, you're here, right? But believe it or not, I do have some people that have been asking, and it truly, truly warms my heart because I've always said it, and I've always believed in that saying of like, if I can inspire one person, then that is enough for me. And that got me a little emotional because it's true. Like if someone tells me like, where have you been? Like you haven't been posting or something like that. It really, really warms my heart because it's like I've inspired them to do something good. And that means a lot to me. So to answer your question of where have I been? So a lot has happened, right? I have been in fitness for a while now. I think this upcoming March is going to be my 4th year into like my fitness. I stopped posting, I want to say it might be going on to like a year. I recently posted a most like recent like story, not a story, a post, and it kind of reflected more on self-love. And that is really the gist of what has been happening in my life. I think I have been focusing a lot more on myself because, again, if you follow my fitness page, that's really what my whole page involves, like mainly, like, yes, it's the health behind fitness, but it's also the whole journey of loving yourself. And I kind of felt like I kind of lost myself in that journey. Just to kind of give you a synopsis of like my day when I was like in fitness life, fitness is life type thing. I woke up at 4 a.m. I was at the gym at exactly 5 because it opened at 5 a.m. And then I worked out till 7. I went to work from 9 to 5. And then at the time when I started fitness, I was like a crackhead because I literally went back to the gym after work. Like, if you do that, I don't have any problem with it. But my only problem with that is that I wasn't being real with myself. I was going through a rough patch at that time, and I didn't allow myself to kind of feel anything. Then later on, I found out that I was really just using that as like an excuse to kind of be like, oh, this is my scapegoat. And I do not encourage that at all. I am a very sensitive person, and I think I should have allowed myself to feel every emotion, whether it was good or bad, and kind of allowed myself to say, it's okay. It's okay to feel that way, and you're going to get better. But at that time, I didn't allow myself to do that. I was more so on the like go mode, like, no, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to do this. And that's what it's going to be, So I think I continued that journey for a long time, that I reached a plateau within my fitness life, that I realized that, well, it's not even I realized at that time, like I want to say last year or a year and a half ago, I was kind of like, I don't know what's going on with me. I felt like maybe fitness wasn't the route I wanted to take. And then I want to say it was a sense of like personality, that I lost my personality. But I think I became more so infatuated of like social media, of like what they would tell me, that I was like, oh, maybe, it's that, or maybe it's this, and maybe it's that. And the reality of it wasn't any of that. I think I didn't allow myself to actually feel, And so that is one of the main reasons why I kind of went MIA, because I kind of posted I posted the link to that video in this description, but I posted a video kind of talking about it, because I lost a couple followers, right? Which I don't blame at all. I would unfollow myself too if I could, but I think I preach a lot about like self-love and healing. And since I wasn't doing that, I didn't want to be a hypocrite about it. I didn't want to keep posting and pretending that I'm okay and that life is great when I really did not feel that way. So it was kind of that. And then also it was also the fact that social media does play a big role, whether you want to admit it or not. Seeing other people portray something sometimes makes you feel like you're behind, and it can play a very, very negative role in your mind. And so I am practicing all that. I am practicing to kind of be here with me and know what is best for me and not what other people are telling me is best for me. So even though I am going to continue posting for my fitness page, I am taking a different direction for that. And so, yeah, I did want to touch on that, because I did have a couple of people ask me, and I know that was like a long little story for that, but I didn't want to get too deep while I'm still in the process of that, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's kind of where I've been, but I am back, and I'm hoping to be back, and I'm hoping to keep posting on social media and kind of be more present within myself, So that's kind of where I'm at right now. So yeah. Also, I feel like this might be like a long reach, right? But I feel like if the people that know me are watching this, they're probably like, no, girl, that is the reason. I'm still in denial, low-key. But I have always taken like pre-workout supplements, right? It has never really affected me. Those have always been fine. But even when I started working out, I would take a couple of like energy drinks and then go back to like pre-workout. And again, it never really did anything for me, like in the sense of like harm me, right? Don't get me wrong, I have heard like too many energy drinks or too much of this, like your heart stops or whatever, right? But it's nothing like that. I just noticed, I think I want to say this past, I think it's about to be a year. So randomly, I stopped taking pre-workout and I just stuck to like energy drinks. And let me know if anybody has struggled with this, because I swear this is what caused it, but now I am kind of like in denial, right? So I started drinking mainly Alani and Celsius. I don't really think I really enjoy any other energy drinks like that, right? But I started seeing a huge flare up in my face of acne. And if you can see, I'm currently wearing makeup, so you can't really see it all, right? But I have a bunch in my cheek area. And it got really, really bad to a point that I started getting like very severe cystic acne. And if you have never experienced cystic acne, like, God bless your heart, because I don't wish that upon anybody. It's literally so painful. And sometimes it's like dairy and things that can cause it, which I stopped, eating dairy and all that. And it just, nothing happened, right? So the common denominator was the energy drinks, right? And then I started seeing that whenever I would drink them, I would start getting like, what is that called? Like itchy, right? I would start getting itchy and my face literally turned red. Girl, you would think that I stopped taking them after I experienced that. No, because I was in such denial. I think in my head, I was more so like, it can't be this because I've been taking them for such a long time and it never affected me then, right? So I went to my good old friend TikTok and I just like searched up like Celsius and acne, and I started seeing a lot of women going through the same thing. I'm not saying Celsius is like bad itself. Maybe it's just a reaction that I'm getting myself. But yeah, they were having the same type of acne, right? And then kind of like Alani would start doing the same to me. So I think it was just something within the energy drink itself. And again, you would think that after seeing those TikToks, I'd stop. So I did stop for like a day or two or like a week or two, and I did start seeing like a little bit of results, like that it didn't flare up, but my cystic acne was still there, which is why I kind of became very, very frustrated, right? Because I was like, okay, well, I stopped. Now that I think about it, why did I think like that? If I stopped 2 days and I thought I was going to see results or something. But at that time, I was like, I stopped drinking this and, I still feel this way. So then I think it was about a month that I stopped drinking them. And the same thing kind of happened. I was still seeing flare-ups and I don't know. It was just not the vibe, right? So I decided to kind of like start doing my own like skincare routine here and there. And then I realized that nothing was really working. I actually tried some type of skincare routine and it made it worse. And my face has just never been like that. It has just never been that way. And I think I became very insecure. And it wasn't really because at first it wasn't just me, it wasn't just because of me. Like I have always been more of a person like, okay, it's a little breakout, it's gonna go away, it's not a big deal. But I think it was also sometimes people can be a little bit harsh, they would just kind of tell me little things like, oh, like, like kind of like backhanded compliments, like, oh, are you taking this for your acne? Or like little stuff that I was just like, okay, like it's taken me a while to kind of be out here by myself already, my face flaring up, and then your comments are not really making it better. So it kind of put me in a little like dark place, right? And again, it was something that I was dealing with it on my own. I didn't really like tell anybody that it was really affecting me until like it started getting a little bit worse. Then I decided to go to the dermatologist. And I just started my Accutane journey, I want to say 2 months ago. So, which has sucked. Honestly, it has dried up my face. And right now it's just kind of like a frustration time for me. But that is also another reason why I kind of stopped filming, because I was insecure. I was super insecure about my face. And I mean, again, I do a bunch of like fitness work. So it requires me to show my face sometimes. And I started noticing myself that I wasn't posting myself anymore. It was more like other stuff around it. And I don't know, it just, some days I feel good, to post, to embrace it. But I think that we don't talk about it enough. Like, I was just having a conversation the other day with my boyfriend, and I was telling him how we always talk about the end result, right? We always talk about, like, even if you go on TikTok right now and then you look up like Accutane journey, you can see how people have already posted their whole journey, and then you have the end result, right? So right now they have clear skin, and it's like good for them. It gives you hope, which if you make those type of videos, don't stop posting those videos, because it definitely gives people hope. But it is sometimes a little frustrating because you are still dealing with it, and it's kind of like, oh, like, okay, I know I can get there and I know it's going to be worth it, but it's like, ugh, it's just so hard to sometimes stay positive. So I was telling him, I'm like, I think I also need to talk about it, because as much as it upsets me, it also it can also help me to talk about it and help somebody else. And it's like, okay, I'm not going through it alone, And I think that's a great thing, because sometimes I think we do feel alone in this world, and we feel like we're the only ones going through it at the time or forever. And it's just because we're afraid to talk about it, And really, I have just been embracing it. And sometimes, don't get me wrong, it's hard, girl. It is hard, because especially when you're on Accutane, your face dries up completely and you can't really even wear makeup or anything like that. So it's like, even if I want to hide it, I really can't, because now my skin is flaky and with acne, and my lips are dry and they look crusty, dusty. And so it's kind of like, yeah. So I think I am going through that phase, But it's just me being honest, because somebody might be going out through it too, But I do want to say that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And I know that's such a cliche thing to say, Even when I hear people tell me that, sometimes I roll my eyes, but it is the truth, I think it takes time, and not everything is going to happen the next day. And it sucks. It sucks 100%. But I think we have to, I'm not saying you have to be okay. You don't have to be okay with anything, Don't listen to me. But we have to understand that this is a part of our story, and what we do today is going to be worth it, tomorrow, the next day, or the day after that. But it is more so for me to tell you that it is going to be okay. And if you're going through something like that, it's okay to feel. Don't let other people tell you that it's not, to get over it or this or that. It's okay to feel, and it's okay to feel insecure some days. But also know that it's not always going to be like that. And there are certain things that you can do to get better. And even though it takes time, that time will be worth it. Okay. And so I just wanted to share a lot of things that I have been doing. For example, I have now kind of transitioned my fitness page into more what I've been actually enjoying, which I have been enjoying running. And it's not necessarily, I'm not a marathon girly. I am not. I do not have any plans to run a marathon. And I'm just not the type of person. I have noticed that I do like being a lot more present in the moment. So I'm currently just running around my area and kind of enjoying the scenery and being present with myself and nature. I like the peace that it comes with it, and I like enjoying like the feeling that I get after. Also, not only have I been running, I've also been walking, because I'm not gonna lie to you guys, not every single day is a running day. And that also shows like the reality of social media, like sometimes when you see me outside, you might be thinking like, oh, she's a runner, she's a trick star, but no, I'm a walker. Then that's what I am. I'm not a runner all the time. Okay. I'm not, no. So I am doing that right now. And I'm doing a lot more reading. I actually stopped reading a little bit, but I am doing a lot more reading and a lot more like coloring and stuff like that. Things that actually make me happy and bring me peace, which brings me to another point actually. So I have also been practicing to why did I get up like that? I kind of got up like I was really gonna say something like strong, which I hope does come out strong, but I have been practicing like keep what brings you peace and let out what doesn't. And that is such a short statement, but with such a strong meaning. And I'm just gonna close this episode with that. I have just been in my own world doing what makes me happy, but most importantly, doing what brings me peace. And right now, it is exactly what I explained. I am trying to understand myself and feel what I want to feel. And if something is not bringing me peace, then you need to get out of my face. No, you just don't need to be in my life. And as much as it hurts, sometimes things like that are needed. And sometimes we feel like we need to keep everyone because we had some type of history with them. And the truth is, you don't. People are meant to be in your life sometimes for a short period of time, and they are part of your story, but they're not part of your life, you know? And that is a very, again, strong statement to say because it could be family and it could be friends, it could be best friends, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband. No, I'm just kidding. But it can be deep. It actually can be a person that's very, very close to you. But I do believe that some people are not meant to be in your life that far and deep into your life, you know? And that is what I am doing and understanding. If a person or something brings you toxicness, unhappiness, and not 1 ounce of peace, listen to your body, because that is your body rejecting that person. And it is also telling you that you don't need them for the long run. And like I said, it is a part of maybe your story or part of your history, but it's not a part of your life. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little episode. And if there's something that you guys obviously want me to talk about, you want to ask me some questions on it, definitely do that. But remember to protect your peace, and those floating thoughts that are floating around your head are always validated. So yeah, thank you.